Hey everyone, thank you for joining me as I break down the good and the bad of The Adam Project. Now streaming on Netflix, directed by Sean Levy. He did Free Guy last year, which I really enjoyed. And this movie is starring Ryan Reynolds, Walker Scobell, Jennifer Garner, Mark Ruffalo, Zoe Saldana. Really solid cast, and is a time-traveling sci-fi story. What could go wrong? After accidentally crash landing in 2022, time-traveling fighter pilot Adam Reed, who's played by Ryan Reynolds, teams up with his 12-year-old self to do a mission to save the future.
Me.
Hi. Parallel contact, babe.
Well, you've always said that you wished you'd met me earlier. Here I am.
These two Adams quip their way through this journey as they try to figure out how to fix the timeline. I'm going to start off with what I like about this movie. I'm going to start off with the good. This is a time-traveling, family-oriented dramedy starring Ryan Reynolds as older Adam from 2050. Ryan Reynolds here, he's doing his regular shtick, a lot of funny jokes and slapstick humor and lowbrow humor. And it really works because younger Adam, played by newcomer Walker Scobell, matches him quip for quip, and these two have very good chemistry. And Walker did such a good job from his first scene. He made me believe he was a younger Ryan Reynolds, even though he looks nothing like him. He just does all the stuff that Ryan Reynolds does really well as a kid, and I thought that he did a great job convincing me that they were both the same person.
Bill. What's your plan?
Well, I'm not going to explain my plan to a 12-year-old nerd with it.
You don't have a plan.
Their chemistry together is what really carries this movie as they go back and forth with each other, trying to figure out how they're going to save the world and save the future. But the chemistry between the rest of the cast is great as well. Zoe Saldana, she plays a top-tier fighter pilot who travels back in time multiple times because in 2050 time travel is real, and she has fantastic chemistry with Ryan Reynolds as she plays his wife who gets lost in 2018 trying to figure out what was going on, some mystery that happened with the time stream. And even though they have a few scenes together, those two chemistry was just really great and made me really buy into their relationship and that they really loved each other, and that Ryan Reynolds, the older Adam, would go through anything to make sure she was safe and try to protect her, even if it's against every law that he broke in this movie. Mark Ruffalo is here, and he plays Adam's father, the know-it-all, hard-headed scientist that doesn't show what he truly feels because he's always working on the next big scientific breakthrough. He does a great job of playing off of Ryan Reynolds and also Walker Scobell as they go back and forth with quips, and he's just arguing with them, trying to tell them what to do. And he's just a great foil for them in terms of being the more parented person. Even though Ryan Reynolds is like the older person, he still calls, when you become older and you think you're a grown up and you got your stuff going, and then you visit your parents and you kind of turn back into a 12-year-old. That's the relationship that they had, and it was really great to see. It was really funny. And we got a reunion here. Mark Ruffalo was in this movie, also Jennifer Garner, and obviously Jennifer Garner was the mother of Adam, so she was Mark Ruffalo's wife, and it was like seeing 13 going on 30 again. It was really great, and they had really good chemistry throughout the movie, even though it was a few scenes. But Jennifer Garner did a really good job as being the mother. She was paired up with younger Adam throughout the most of the movie, and the family just recently, like a year before, gone through some tragedy, so you could see the desperation in her trying to keep this family together and trying to keep Adam, safe and making sure he's okay. But she's so angry all the time. She feels like she's not getting through to him and he doesn't love her anymore. So that relationship was really interesting to see, and they went in depth with it, and it made you care more about each individual characters and the relationship. Even though this is a decent sci-fi time traveling plot with multiple cool scientific theories and special effects and tech, the family story shines through the most here and is the strongest part of the movie. We see Ryan Reynolds playing older Adam and Walker Scobell playing younger Adam as they talk to each other and they meet, and the kid asks regular questions that you would ask if you see your older self come from the future and speak to you in person. But what was really at the core is that they were both working through their traumas. The younger Adam trying to figure out if things were going to get better after this tragedy that he faced, because he's very depressed and sad, and he has a big mouth, and he's getting beat up at school because he's just trying to find a way to let out his anger, and he's trying to see, does things get better as he starts trying to peel away at older Adam. And older Adam, Ryan Reynolds does a great job of showing that he's been trying to get away from this version of himself, the younger version, change himself so he can be tougher, he can be better. And he realizes slowly as he keeps talking to his younger self that, maybe those times weren't as bad as he thought they were. And the action sequences were done really well here. They were varied and really well choreographed, so it never got boring or repetitive. And the comedy, if you've seen a Ryan Reynolds flick, saw Free Guy, the movie he did on Netflix before this, The Red Notice, or anything he's been doing with Deadpool, you know what kind of humor Ryan Reynolds does. Low brow and slapstick humor. And he does it a ton here, and everyone joins in on the fun. So it varies depending on what kind of humor you like, but Ryan Reynolds does a great job. This is top tier Ryan Reynolds stuff here. And when a joke hits, it hits. It is hilarious. But when it doesn't hit, which there's a couple of them throughout the movie, they're not bad, but they're just serviceable. You might chuckle, you may just move past it, ignore it. And the movie is just going miles per minute. Ryan Reynolds, the older Adam, comes in, he meets his younger self. They figure out what year they need to go to fix the problem that they're having. The antagonist comes in and tries to stop them because she's the original person to mess it up. And it's just kind of action sequence to a funny moment to emotional moment. And then the best part of the movie to me is the last 10 to 15 minutes. We had this really epic finale that has high stakes. After all the high stakes and all the time travel hijinks and all that stuff goes down, we have like 10 minutes of really good emotional acting, emotional work done by the actors in the story that was earned, that was built up throughout the movie as they explored each parent and child's trauma. And that really got to me, and it was one of the best and most well paid off endings I've seen in a movie in a long time. Let's talk about the bad. If you are not a fan of Ryan Reynolds acting or his shtick that he does in almost every movie, because it feels like he's playing the same character in different clothes in every movie, then this movie is not going to be for you, because he's the star. His jokes and the things he does is in most of it. There's barely any time that he's having a serious conversation. Even though the times that he does a great job of doing the emotional scenes, but there's a lot of jokes. And if you don't like his style, it's going to be a big turn off. And the antagonists in this movie left a lot to be desired. Also her motivations. The actress that played the antagonist, Kathleen Keener, basically walked through this role, and she did not meet the intensity, the comedic timing, or just the energy that the rest of the cast was giving off that made this movie feel really good to watch. And anytime she had a scene where she was talking for a long time, I was like, oh boy. Ugh. It was just, she just felt like she was just here for the paycheck. That's how I felt. Tell me down below if you felt like that as well. And I feel like if she was a greater antagonist, this would have bumped the movie up even more. And I think Ryan Reynolds and Zoe Saldana are great action stars. They looked fantastic doing the action sequences in this movie, but you also can tell that they couldn't do all their stunts. So there were certain scenes where you can tell they switched to a stunt actor. It was just a little too obvious. It just didn't flow well sometimes, where you could see the switch happen. You could tell that the person kind of looks like Ryan Reynolds, kind of looks like Zoe Saldana, but actually wasn't. And let's talk about my verdict. So I went into this movie with low expectations after seeing the trailer. I thought it looked cool, but I thought it'd be a basic, Ryan Reynolds romp. But I came out really, really loving this movie. It gave me a decent sci-fi story, a great family comedy plot that I really enjoyed. And towards the end, I got a little bit emotional, a little teary-eyed. And my rule of thumb, if a movie can make me feel emotions like that, they're doing something right. So with all that said, I'm going to give this movie a B. Comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you thought about the Adam Project, what you think about Ryan Reynolds movies in general. What do you thought about Walker Scobell? For this to be his first movie, I thought he did a fantastic job. Like the video if you like my review. Subscribe to the channel because it really helps my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified of other videos that I have, and you can actually watch more right now.